Welcome back to another episode of a Soundtown. I want to be like a radio host with a welcome to Wacky Wednesday.
We need an air horn.
Yeah.
Just at hand at all times.
Or some people.
Are we even a podcast if we don't have an air horn?
We need like a sound box. Just like you press a button and it's just like a cool sound, some sound effects. Like that would it increase podcast value tenfold.
Yeah, so whenever somebody makes a bad joke, you can just have like the booing, crowd booing sound effect.
Yeah. That's the only one we need.
Yeah, they could do a toilet flush.
Yeah.
This could be good for us. I think this could really expand our brand.
Yeah. Well, who are we, by the way? I know that I'm Russ.
You're Russ?
I'm Russ, which makes you...
I'm Eric, then.
Whoa!
That has to be, right? Those are the names on the shirt, right?
Yeah, on the shirt, which is available on teespring.com. And you know what else is weird?
Nice plug.
if Eric, you're here, and me, Russ, I'm here as well, and we're on a podcast, this must make this the Soundtown Podcast.
The Town of Sound.
And this is a awesome episode because we get to speak with our good friend Mo Turner, who is not only a talented musician but also an incredibly talented actor.
The only movie star to ever guest appear on Soundtown.
That's right, we're very exclusive. They are the only movie star we let on here.
Yeah, sorry Paul Rudd.
Sorry Paul.
Maybe another time.
So you, as the listener, should be thanking us.
All right, let's get into it. What do you think, Russ?
I think we should just get into it. We'll hear all about Mo's bands and all of the cool movies that they've gotten to be a part of, and some Hollywood gossip. So let's check it out.
Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Do you have any Tuesday rituals, like a Taco Tuesday?
It's taco night whenever we have enough material for tacos in the house.
What do you put on your taco?
Ooh.
Or
I mean, I don't eat meat, so like fake taco meat, cheese, whatever kind of green, banana peppers, salsa. Yeah.
It's still flavorful.
Yeah.
I'm very bland. I'll do like taco meat and cheese, and maybe that's it.
Damn.
It's very boring. When I used to go to Chipotle, I'm over Chipotle, by the way. They do too much sketchy stuff. But it used to just be the white rice, steak, and cheese. And they'd say, do you want anything else? And I'd say, no. And they'd say, are you sure? And then they would give you such small portions because they expect you to get more things.
Yeah.
And so my burrito is always too tiny.
At least you don't have to do like the dreaded get the fork as soon as you've eaten like half the burrito and it's all just spilling
get
out.
A bowl.
Just get
a bowl at that point. Like, who are these people pretending to be getting a burrito and then eating it with a fork and knife? Like, I don't know. Can't fool me.
Can't fool me.
If you don't eat meat, Mo, then you probably don't have like a stake in the fight of like Chipotle versus Qdoba versus Mo's or anything like that.
I don't care. El Taco is near my house, and I like them. So,
have you ever been there, Eric?
Yes, I have.
I have.
I went there with David a lot. And I would always get the scorpion pepper hot sauce, and I would always like lose my mind and have like a breakdown in his house, like over how hot it was. But it doesn't stop me from getting it every time.
Oh wait, is that little
so
tiny
thank you,
place?
David, for putting up with me when I'm going through Heat episodes.
It's on Powelton. It's really good.
I think we went together.
Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have.
It is very good. If it is the place
I
I'm thinking.
I should have worn my Shark Club t-shirt.
Oh,
now that I'm thinking about it. The one with David and Eric's
inspired?
faces on it.
So that
Shit.
you did end up getting that? I'm sure you
Yes, I
sent me a
did.
message. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
I got
thank
it.
you. I mean, maybe for those who don't know, you inspired a Shark Club T-shirt design, and we're so grateful
The
for it.
video. I was like, oh, this is a funny video. It should be a shirt. And you were like, hey Mo, so we took your idea. Do you want a shirt? I felt honored actually.
And
It's one
you
of my
saying
favorite shirts.
the way that you said that, I'm kind of proud of myself for making a video into a shirt. Not to toot my own horn.
Toot
Add
away.
it to the resume.
I'll add it to the resume for sure. But what's been going on? How have you been navigating this quarantine lockdown life?
Oof. Well, my partner and I accidentally moved in together in March because of quarantine.
Accidentally?
It was
Whoops.
like I came back from LA. That was the last time I had been anywhere. And they were like, hey, stay inside. And I was like, all right. And Rob had picked me up from or he hadn't picked me up from the airport. I had like gone to his house because I'd been away for like a few days. And then they were like, hey, you have to stay in a place. And I was like,
Oh my
well,
God, I'm so sorry.
oh, bless you.
I'm so sorry. Sneeze right into the mic for you, Russ.
Blessed. And then I kind of had to sort of like move into his like tiny 1-bedroom apartment, and then we were there for a few months, and then we were like, hey, but what if we got a place with more space? And now we have a house.
Oh wow.
Now I have a house. So that's how I'm
awesome.
navigating this. I haven't been doing like almost anything. Like actually David and I started working on my personal album. And that's been cool. But then he was like,
record.
yeah. I'm very like I was showing like the stuff to David, and I was showing it to Garrett Midas, who was gonna do drums for it, and I was like, hey guys, here's my stuff, and they were like, this is really good, and I was like, no, it's not. So I've been doing that. YEET is actually, we just made some merch today with spray paint in a backyard today. So that's what we did today. But we're coming out with an EP that we've been working on all of quarantine.
Oh, that's awesome.
War.
So, yes, War comes out in January. Comes out soon.
I'm excited.
And then Double Suede's working on stuff. I've just been like in my house making art and like not talking to people. I'm super agoraphobic. Like I go to the grocery store and I'm like, don't touch me.
Well,
don't look at me.
Better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, but it's like, what's gonna happen when I try to integrate into society after it's all done? I'm gonna be like worse than I already was before.
I think you'll be okay.
I hope so.
You seem like a cool cucumber.
It's a cleverly constructed facade.
So I don't know, you probably don't even know when you'll get that YEET merch out, but where do you sell your merch?
Well, actually, the stuff that we made, I know that we're gonna give some of it away. Like we're doing some sort of contest thing. I don't know. Allie has it all mapped out. But I think we're giving some of it away, and then I think we're gonna eventually do like quote unquote professional merch, like get it like printed. And we'll probably be selling that. So it's a work in progress, but we made it, and that's what's most important.
Exactly. And then when
these are underwear, actually. These are like boxer briefs.
Oh
yeah.
Changing the merch game. Look at that.
Wasn't my idea, so.
We've been talking about. No, I shouldn't say it because everyone's gonna steal it.
No, don't. That's yours. Whatever it was, keep it.
All right.
Don't you dare, Russ.
You'll see it when it comes out, and you'll be like, "That must have been it."
I'll buy it.
Talking
about. Have you told me this?
I think I might have pitched it in the group chat. Like I'm talking months ago.
Just another one of your crazy pitches.
Just another one of my crazy schemes.
Ed and Eddie Styles, a crazy scheme.
How did you just get a completely 180. How did you first get into music?
Yeah. So my parents were always very like into music, like all sorts of music. I get like a lot of the like 70s, 60s, like Beatles, like that like classic rock kind of stuff from my mom. And then my dad is like Irish folk music and folk music in general. And then my grandpa is a jazz musician. He plays jazz guitar and piano. And
Oh wow.
I'd always hear him play. And I would sing as a kid, like just like singing in the car or like whatever. And then I started becoming an actor. And my mom was like, hey, like you should probably develop like the triple threat. Like you gotta dance, you gotta act, you gotta sing. And I was like, okay. And I already liked music. And then I started taking piano lessons at like 9. And I hated it so much because they were like, oh, you have to learn like Beethoven. And I was like, okay, I mean, I guess, sure. And then eventually my piano teacher was like, you don't seem interested in this. I was like, I told you that. And she was like, do you want to learn jazz? And I was like, yes. And then I picked up a guitar at 12 and was like, this seems cool. And I did that for a little bit. So I guess that's the long-winded story of how I got into music.
Do you remember the first artist or album that you listened to that maybe your parents didn't show you that you said like, oh, this is for me? Like for me, I remember my parents would always play like movie soundtracks for me and my brothers of the movies that we liked.
Mm-hmm.
And on one of the soundtracks, it was the Scooby-Doo soundtrack, and there was a Simple Plan song on there.
Oh, shit.
And I was the only one out of like everybody in my house who like really liked it. And I was like, oh, this, and then that branched me off into the music that I started to like. What was that artist for you?
I'm trying to think. I think the first artist that I like listened to on my own volition was probably Green Day.
Nice.
Cause like I know that like I think that my mom had like, I mean, she like known Green Day and like, but whenever like Good Riddance would come on the radio, I'd be like, I really like this song like a lot. And then I started like discovering their stuff like outside, like actually like listening to their albums and stuff. And I was like, these guys are really good. And it's actually kind of what brought Double Suede together, because Patrick, our drummer, had like I don't know if he wants me to out him like this, but he had a pair of like Green Day Converse in like 7th grade. And I was like, oh, you like Green Day? I like Green Day. What?
It's public now.
It's public information now at this point. He'll probably kill me later. It's fine. But yeah, and I was like, oh, you like Green Day? I like Green Day. And then the first song we played together, like as a band when we started the group, was like, oh, well, we don't know how to play anything. And I think we played Brain Stew because it's the easiest song. So whenever that comes on the radio, I'm like, hey guys, remember when we played that badly when we were like 14? Green Day was like, that was like big for me. Definitely got me through some hard times.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you listen to the new stuff?
No, there's a I think after like even listening to 21st Century Breakdown, I was like, this is a little bit more theatrical than I'd like. And I like musicals. I'm into musicals, and I was like, this is a different genre. Like this is not what I want from them. So I kind of fell off the horse on that. But I like their old stuff. So
the classics.
Yeah. I have Dookie on vinyl, I think. Yeah, I feel like that's like the stupidest thing I can say. I have Dookie on vinyl, but like I do.
Hey, you know who loved Dookie? James Gandolfini.
Really? King.
He's a big Dookie fan.
Absolute king.
So if anybody ever teases you for liking Dookie, just tell them Tony Soprano sent you.
Yeah. You got a problem?
Christopher Maltasante.
Hey, Chrissy!
I've, confession, never watched The Sopranos.
That's okay.
It's the best comedy of the century.
Are you?
I feel like I have to. Because enough of my friends have seen The Sopranos at this point that I'm like, I have to.
It's a solid show. Like Eric and I, we live in and are from Jersey, where
Yeah.
it takes place. You're from Philly, right?
I'm from the suburbs of Philly, like half an hour outside the city.
Okay, so but that's pretty cool. You pretty much stayed there your whole life, right?
Yeah. I eventually think that New York could be an option for me, but yeah. People always talk to me about like, oh, you want to move to LA? I'm like, no, it's too hot. It's too hot in LA.
Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Too cold. Because you can
That's
always like put
interesting.
on more layers, but if you're too hot, you're down to skin. That's it. I can't like. The only thing you can do is jump in water, and I'm bad at swimming, so I'd rather be too cold.
That's a fair take.
Yeah.
Do you like cities or do you prefer like a more toned down area?
I like cities. I think cities are fun. I get bored when I'm like in the suburbs. I'm like, I can't do anything. I can't do it. What do you do? You go to Applebee's? Half off apps after 9 o'clock? Like that's what I did. Go to Target, spend money I don't have. Like at least in the city I can go to a park and just stand there.
Have you been able to travel a lot, or is it mainly just kind of between LA and Philly and New York for you most of your life?
I've been to Atlanta, which is fun. We filmed both of the Jumanjis were filmed in Atlanta.
Atlanta's like the new Hollywood kind of, right? It just like
Yeah,
shooting wise.
'cause,
I'm hearing like Toronto's next.
Toronto is really good for indie films. A lot of
Yeah.
indie films are filmed there, and a lot of shows are filmed in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But LA is like TV shows and stuff, and then like Atlanta, because I think there's something to do with like the taxes there.
Yeah.
That are like the taxes are low or something. But all the Marvel movies are filmed there. Yeah, it's a weird city. Rob visited me when I was filming the second Jumanji, and we were trying to like walk around and like do stuff. And there's like botanical gardens and there's like restaurants, but like it's sort of a city that sort of accidentally became like a hub.
It seems like it.
So it doesn't really have like a the city doesn't really have like there's nothing there. It's just like these big houses and then like
I'm sure it gets hot there.
Yeah. I was there in the winter though, so it was fine.
Cool.
But it gets hot. I filmed something in San Francisco when I was like 14. That was cool.
San Francisco's cool. I went there when I was a little, maybe like 12.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
Did you like San Francisco? Would you go back?
Yeah,
as a fully grown adult.
I might visit. I haven't been to the West Coast since I was a kid, and the more I think about the West Coast, the more I think I would really like it as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be intrigued to definitely go back. I remember San Francisco just being like really foggy and kind of rainy, and my uncle lived there at the time. And he was like, "Yeah, this is like it 90% of the time."
It's cold there.
Yeah, it gets
like,
chilly
all the time. I was there in like July and it was cold. I was confused.
What's like the coolest city you've been to, do you think?
The coolest city I've been to?
By like, I mean like awesome, not like weather.
Oh yeah. Man, I love Portland. Portland, Oregon is I love it there. But I also went to Barcelona like last January. Barcelona is really cool. And like I had never been to like Spain before. And that was really tight. I'd go back there. I think there was a lot I missed when I was there because I was only there for like a week. But yeah, my friend lives there and I was like, well, I guess we'll visit. And yeah, probably American City, probably Portland. It's my favorite.
But Barcelona, that sounds awesome. Can we talk about, I'm just fascinated by this and we don't have to talk about this if it's boring to everybody else, but that church in Barcelona that they've been trying to build for 150 years.
The dude died and they were just like, well, I guess we have to keep building it.
Yeah.
They didn't stop.
They didn't stop. I think it's within the next like 10 years or so, it should be done.
Hopefully.
which is crazy.
It's sick. It's beautiful. And like we were there, and my one friend she's from there, and so she was kind of guiding us around. And this dude comes up to us, and all the tourist traps are right there. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have this party at this beach, and oh, we hear you're American." And I'm like, "Don't talk to me, don't talk to me. This seems like a scam." But yeah, no, it's beautiful, and there's cool museums. We went to the Museum of Sex, which is
Ooh.
wild. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff there.
They have a Museum of Sex in New York, don't they?
Yes, I've walked by it a lot, uncomfortably with my mother.
Mm. Yeah, it's not one of the museums I'm rushing to go see myself.
No.
I'm definitely like curious about your acting. When did that first start for you?
I started when I was 5.
Yeah, and was that like your own like mom, dad, I want to be an actor, or did they? It was you.
Well, my mom was an actress. My mom still is an actress. My mom does episodics, specifically right now because it's kind of easier to get into. She was recently on The Politician. She was on a few episodes of The Politician. Yeah, my mom had, gone to school she went to UArts. And she stopped to have me because my dad's in the military and she's an actor, and she's like, well, if none of us are going to be home, one of us has to stay home to raise the child. And I was like 5, and she was working like for like an insurance company or something. And I was like, hey, you know how you used to do that? And I was pointing at the TV. I was like, you know how you used to do that? I want to do that. And she was like, are you sure? Like, it's a weird business. And I said, yeah, I do. So she took me to her manager. Her manager's husband had an acting school in Philly on like 3rd and Vine. And she brought me there and was like, actor? And her manager was like, well, we're also looking for an acting teacher. And she was like, I could do that.
Oh, wow.
So lo and behold, my mom's an acting teacher now, and I'm an actor. And
that's incredible.
Here we are.
That's awesome. Do you remember the first thing you kind of really acted in?
Yeah, it was Invincible, a movie about the Eagles.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
So I got it. Like, okay, we've gotten to talk to some pretty cool people on the podcast, but you are one of the only people that like has like a Wikipedia page. And so
I do have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
about that.
Which they're missing some key info. So if we can get you to spill some beans on some stuff, maybe they'll update it.
I have plenty of beans to spill.
But I knew you were in the Jumanji films, and your filmography's on there. We don't know how, of course, like,
accurate it is.
Accurate it is. But I saw Invincible, and I was like, what? Because that was an important movie for me when I first saw it as a little kid with my big football family. And so I rewatched it today, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like a little squirt.
Yeah, it's a little me. It's a little baby me.
I'm so curious, like, how did you get that role? Because for those who haven't seen it, you're the head coach, you're the Philadelphia Eagles head coach's little daughter.
Yeah.
And you're on it for maybe 2.5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is you run up and you hug your dad, and then you
hug
like,
Greg
play.
Kinnear.
You hug Greg Kinnear. I was thinking, like, okay, if I'm like producing that movie, why don't I just get like my kids to go do it? That's so crazy that what did they like pick you out of a bunch, or was there a connection?
Heary Casting is a big casting director. Diane Heary is a big casting director in Philly, and she had connections with the acting school. So she said, hey, like, send over your students. Like, we're looking for like, a young girl to play, because at the time that's what I was, a girl. Yeah, I just went in and I read the lines, and they were like, you're cute and you can read, so here's the job. And I was like, sick, cool.
That's awesome.
And then they put me in some 70s garb and sent me over, and they said, go hug that man. And I said, cool. And my mom's freaking out because she knows who Greg Kinnear is. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But we also, Vince Papale was on set.
Oh,
and again,
really?
I'm 5. I
Yeah.
don't know who that is. But my mom lost her cell phone, and he was like, "Is this your cell phone?" And she was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Vince Papale found my phone."
Oh my
And
God.
my parents,
yeah.
again, freaking out. I mean, except my dad. My dad is from Massachusetts, so he doesn't care about the Eagles. But
yeah, I'm making that connection right now too. Like growing up near Philadelphia and that whole movie's, yeah, that's incredible.
It was wild because I was 5 and I was like, I'm just having a great time. There's food, there's people to pay attention to me. Cool. So
very cool. And I mean, whether you've had a big role or a smaller role, you've gotten to kind of like rub elbows with some pretty incredible actors, to say the least, right? It's pretty awesome when you get to like be in a scene with a Danny DeVito or something to that effect. Are you fanning out? Are you to yourself? Are you trying to pick up some insight? How do you approach that?
I'm to myself to a certain extent. Like I kind of try to read the room because I'm like not socially great. So I just sort of like kind of read the room, and if there's people there that are more seasoned than me, like a Danny DeVito, I'm like, I'll introduce myself, but I'm not gonna like go up and berate him.
Sure.
But it was actually really, the Danny DeVito thing reminds me. I was when we were filming that scene where all the kids in Jumanji were with him. He was like, "Oh, so where's everybody from?" And they were telling where I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Philly." And he's like, "Ah, Philly." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a really big Always Sunny fan, and so are my friends." He's like, "That's so cool." And he gave me a fist bump, and I was like,
whoa.
On the inside, freaking out. On the outside, like very professional.
I wouldn't have been able to handle that. I would have kissed him right on the top of the head.
He's so small. Because I met him when I was like 8, because he was casting a film, and he was the director, and unfortunately the film lost funding, but I was chosen for the role, and then the film lost funding. And we were at the read through, and I introduced myself, and I said to one of my castmates, I was like, he probably doesn't remember me because I was like, 8, taller than him, but 8. So I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, wow, funny how the world works in that way.
Well, I think how much of having success in that acting world, like how much of it is pure talent, and then how much of it is luck? Because how many auditions do you? Yeah,
a lot of it's luck. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it. There's also, with the rise of social media, like they will look at your followers.
Oh wow.
Because they're like, there are some casting studios that will look at your followers and be like, oh, like, is this person gonna bring in ratings? And there's also just like right place, right time.
Yeah.
Do you look like, if you're like being casted into a family, do you look enough like the mom and dad? Do you look enough like, the siblings? I was pretty lucky in when I got the role for the miniseries Mildred Pierce. I grow up into Evan Rachel Wood, and I look a lot like Evan Rachel Wood. So it kind of like worked out that way. They were like, yeah, you're good and you can handle this role, but also you look so much like the actress that plays the older you. So there's stuff like that. There's so many factors, and that's why there are a lot of really, really good like working actors. Like only like 1% become famous. Like, there's all these celebrities and stuff, but that's only 1%, and everybody else is below the level, and like we're just scrounging for auditions and like just trying to get our head above water. Yeah, it's actually been kind of frustrating because I really haven't had a lot of auditions. And then like since sort of pushing my like, I guess, queer agenda of being like, being a queer person represented properly in film, not just going for female roles, but going for like, other kinds of roles. Oddly enough, that's presented a challenge, which I thought it wasn't going to, because like they're casting non-binary people in films now, like as non-binary people. And I'm like, well, that's me. Cast me. But, it's the right project will come along. That's what I keep telling myself.
For sure it will.
But it's definitely a interesting balance of luck and I kind of rambled a little bit there because I'm very passionate about this subject, but
No,
It's a
that's great.
podcast. Yeah, it's a podcast.
true,
for sure.
true, it is a podcast. But yeah,
We've
no,
never had
it's
somebody who's been in movies on here, so
true. I do. You know what? I'll give myself that. I'll give myself that. Yeah, it's a weird business. It's sort of like music. It's like there are so many like musicians that are famous that like suck.
I
And
was
there's
just
so many
gonna say-
musicians. There's so many bands like you guys, like any of the bands that I'm in, where it's like
I was literally gonna say so many friends that I've seen over the years.
Yeah.
It's like how are more people like not paying attention to this?
yeah. So it's crazy, man. Like, and also the public doesn't always know what it wants too. So it's like
Yeah.
you can make 75 movies with the same actors and they don't care because they want to see the same actors. So
I mean, I
be
personally
like
want
that.
I personally want more Mo Turner on the big screen. That's me though.
Me too, because that means I get to do the thing I like to do. But you know,
If you could be an extremely successful musician or an extremely successful actor or both at the same time,
both.
yeah.
It's always both. Both is
If you're
good.
both, you have to be slightly less successful in both.
That's
So
fine.
it's like
I'll take
really,
that.
really successful in one, really, really successful in the other, or just kind of like mid in both.
Nah, I'll take mid in both. I would take mid in both over successful because I love they're my two passions. So the two things that keep me going. And like right now, literally not acting. So I'm like, I have music, but you know, I would love to be able to do both because like, why not?
For sure. Do you
Good
have any
answer.
other hobbies outside of acting and music?
Yes. I paint.
Oh, that's cool.
I make. Oh, I don't have my frogs with me. Damn it! I painted some cottagecore frogs for my friend for Christmas. But they're not. My sketchbook is in my car. Damn it. Yeah, I paint. I draw. What else do I do? I guess reading is a hobby, but I don't really do that. Reading is hard after school. It's
really is.
not. It's so hard.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
What else do I do? I listen to true crime podcasts. I guess that's a hobby.
Sure.
Anything artistic, I'm usually dipping my fingers into. Oh, I read tarot. I do tarot cards. That's one thing that not a lot of people know about me that don't already know me.
To read tarot cards, do one of us have to be in the room with you?
No, not necessarily.
Can we do this right now? Or is that
Is
a service that you provide and we don't have to...
I would feel odd, like, because I would have to like reveal some like personal information. Like I would be like talking about like your personal information, and I don't want to like expose either of you.
I would be open
I'm just
for
learning.
it.
I just got Vine tarot cards.
What does that mean?
Like they're like tarot cards, but they're like Vine. They're like famous vines.
Oh, that's awesome. Look, we definitely don't have to if it's gonna like put you out. And if it gets really weird, I can always just cut this out.
That's my concern, is that it's gonna get weird.
Okay.
I don't want it to get too.
That's fair.
Like either of you text me later and I'll give you a tarot card reading. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't know, you know, like it's the liveness of this. I guess. Well, like, the recordedness.
How many have you done?
A lot. I mean, I've been reading since 2017. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always been a very spiritual person, and they're pretty cool. So.
I'm just learning that they're not called tarot cards.
Oh,
I've never heard them like said out loud. Oops.
That's okay. Honestly, it looks like it should be tarot.
How did you get into that?
It was actually Eric from Double Suede's younger sibling was like, "Hey, I read tarot," and I was like, "That's cool. Give me a reading." And then gave me a reading, and I was like, "This is cool. I want to do it too." So,
whoa,
here we are. They're really fun. I really like them. I really like doing it for people because, like, I've had pretty high success rate on like it being pretty accurate. So the forces at play are
okay. When it gets
too-
weird, what do you mean it gets weird?
like I remember giving a reading to somebody that I didn't know very well, and he like I guess had recently like reconnected with his mom, and like one of the cards I just blurted out, I was like, your mom's really proud of you, and he like kind of like got like a little teary-eyed, and I was like, is this a good thing, is this a bad thing, I don't know, but like it can get like into like your parents issues and like past relationships and like yeah, it can get pretty deep depending on what you ask.
Wow.
And I don't want to like, again, I don't want to expose either of you. So I also
don't mean to
talk a
keep
lot when I
pushing.
do it, and I kind of like,
That's so interesting. I think that's so interesting. And I think it would be great. I think it'd be great for a podcast, but we don't have to do it.
no, it's because it would take me a long time, and I don't think you guys have
Okay.
enough time for the.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Sorry to press you. If it
That's
seems like I'm pressing
okay.
you.
But like I said, I would absolutely give you a tarot card reading after the podcast.
Now I'm just genuinely curious. It's less
Yeah.
about let's get hits on the podcast because they're gonna embarrass me, but it's also, um,
You can do a part 2 where I give you a reading.
yeah, maybe, and then I just go on the podcast and do a reaction
Yeah.
of this is a real deal. Mo effed me up, but I'm a better person for it.
What's my cursing Rach? Can I say any words that are bad?
Yeah, let it rip.
I don't want to, but
Yeah,
You can even say stinky if you want.
really, I can say that? Are
Let
you
it
even
fly.
allowed to say that?
I just did. Stinky police, come get me.
Stinky police. That's funny.
so do you go to school? Did you go to school in Philly? Are you still going to school? No school?
I don't go to school. I pretended I went to Drexel for a while. Because people would just be walking around and be like, oh, like I'm like, yeah. They just believed me. So I went with it.
And how did you get into the kind of Philadelphia scene, if you will? Were you just living in the area, or?
Well, so after high school, I was like, okay, I gotta get double Suede in the scene in Philly because I know that it exists.
Is that like your oldest band?
Yeah, double Suede. We've been together since our freshman. Well, Patrick is a year younger than us, so 2013, 2014.
Okay, cool.
And we've known each other a long ass time. But yeah, I was like, I want to try to get them into the scene, and my friend was roommates with Hank Byerly, and my first ever show was Sandboxing's debut show.
Wow, historic.
Because
I was
like,
there for that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're gonna go to see Hank, and I was like, sick. So I brought Eric along, and we went to Liz Lounge, and I was like, this is great. Let's keep doing this.
I think that might have been the first time we ever met you.
Yeah, honestly, I think I met everyone there. Like
think
that
so.
was.
Yeah, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I got into the scene, because I just kept going to shows and like talking to people, and having Hank was a really good connection. I also met David, and that was
Our boy.
Bless that man. Yeah, I met him, and I reconnected with some of my friends from high school that I didn't really hang out with that are also in the music scene. So I was like, oh, sick, this is cool. I don't remember what our first show was. I think our first show may have been at Liz Lounge. Because I was like, hey, Hank, can you put us on a bill? Thanks. Yeah.
What year do you think that would have been?
2018.
Wow. Okay, so we were either on a bill together, or I just happened to be at a show that you were playing.
Yeah.
And if those were the first couple of shows you played,
We've definitely played a show together. Because
yeah.
that's when I had Shark Club stickers.
Oh,
I
then
had like
yeah,
the
for
ones
sure
with like
we
the
did.
Dixie cup like line on them.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
those.
Well, I mean, if those were your first show or one of your first shows, you had me fooled because you guys seemed really cohesive and tight.
Well, it was our first Philly show because we had played like our first actual show I think was in 2017, maybe like early 2017. Because there were a bunch of like smaller venues in Phoenixville and in Spring City. Yeah, we played at what is it called? I can't remember right now, but we used to play with this group that our friends had. They were sort of like a prog rock band, and they were like, hey, like we're looking for another person to be on the bill. And we jumped at that because we were like, we're not really the same kind of music, but we want to play something. So yeah, our first show was at Chaplin's in Spring City. So then we eventually migrated down to Philly, which was good because that helped a lot.
That's where it's happening.
Yeah, dude, this place is hip happening.
I mean, I personally prefer like a basement show over a show at a bar or whatever. You feel the same way?
Yeah, it just feels so weird. I think I like the community aspect of like the DIY scene.
For sure.
Sometimes if there was a point in time where I was feeling a little gatekeepy, just because I play psych music and like a lot of them were like, hey, we want emo bands and punk bands and that's it. And we were like, okay, well, but I think that recently there's been a lot more like experimental shows that I've been, like seeing, or I guess not recently, but like when shows were happening, there was a lot more bands that I was like, oh, we could play with them, and then we started hanging out with Polychromatics and their psych. So, and Psychic Agency, of course, and all those people. So it was cool to be able to, as much as I love pop punk, I love emo, it just didn't mesh with what Double Suede was doing, and we were getting kind of frustrated because everyone was like moshing to one band and then being like, what the hell are you guys doing with all these weird, like, what are you guys doing? Like, we'll stay, but we don't know what's happening. Yeah, like I think that I've really grown to love, and plus all the people like you guys, like the friends that I've met has been like, these are like lifelong people for me, so
yeah, I agree.
I'm very thankful for the DIY community in Philly.
Yeah, it's been incredible. And it's so, I mean, for us specifically, again, we live in Jersey and we don't get to play super often because we're either in school or working.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be, back when there were shows, like months in between times when we would not only play in Philly, but like play a show in general.
Yeah.
And when we do go back, it's like we were never gone, which is really nice. It's super nice.
Because you get really dedicated fans and, you start with your friends being your fans and then it like kind of spreads.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Would you say that's how your other projects like YEET started, just through those friendships you fostered in the community?
When did Allie and I meet? God, Allie and I met, I literally don't even remember how we met. I think we just sort of like were in the same areas and then we became friends. And then yeah, they had like texted me and were like, hey, like I'm putting together a project with like two of my other friends from Temple. Like, so I was in a Drexel like DIY area and then also playing in like a Temple based band. And yeah, I mean, like that's how stuff like YEET has happened. YEET is really fun. I really like YEET. They fit a little bit more into the punky section of things because we just kind of play whatever the hell we want. But yeah. And like I never, because with DIY, I never would have met like Allie, Noah, and Jay if it hadn't been for the community of people. Yeah, man.
What about MuddyJean? Are you still making music with MuddyJean?
I think I'm hanging out with Jake on Friday because Jake and I were roommates. Jake and I have been friends since high school. as well. And he was also part of Double Suede for like a few months. And he actually produced our second EP that we have out. And yeah, we were living, it's actually weird because we moved in together because we were like, okay, we're gonna move to Philly and we're gonna make music and it's gonna be great. And then we moved to Philly and both got like really sad. And just we just were like we didn't hang out. We just like we lived together. He lived up because it was like a loft. He lived upstairs. I could walk into his room and be like, let's make music, but we just didn't do that. And I mean, a lot of that was my fault because I was just like, ugh. But we are trying to start to put together our third album. We've had a few shows. We played a Bernie rally actually, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
You know, a little political spice in there. But yeah, we really haven't been working on anything, but it'll be nice to kind of get back in the studio because that's really lyrically where I thrive is with MuddyJean because I get to like write the lyrics and I get to write poems and it's fun.
And so then when it is time to record that music, do you always go to a studio?
No, Jake has his own kind of setup. We were going to Rec Philly a little bit, but you know we've just been recording with like Jake's setup that he has. We a few years ago we thankfully made enough money to get like a really nice mic, like with like the thing, like it's got like a thing and it's like a thing and it's big and fancy and it's the most expensive piece of equipment that we have. So that's definitely improved the quality. There's songs on Motions and Transitions that like you can tell were recorded with like a terrible like dynamic mic, and then the ones that were recorded with the really nice mic that we got like halfway through recording. But yeah, I'm so excited to work with Jake again because we once we get into the groove, we like get into the groove, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Are you in any other musical projects?
Just me, just like my stuff, which, you know, David has actually given me the confidence to want to record.
I didn't even know it was, yeah, but I didn't know it was in the works. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, dude, it's like, you know, it's songs I've had since I was like 14 or 15 that I'm just like, if I don't record these, it's not gonna happen. Like it's approaching their expiration date. So yeah, David's doing a really good job. We're still in the very, I can't say the word preliminary. I can't say that word. It's a hard word.
Close enough.
We're still in the beginnings of it because COVID. But once we get it done, it's gonna sound really good because he's doing a really good job with it. I don't know how to record music, so
please tell me that the Double Suede song titled David has nothing to do with David Giroux.
I did not know David Giroux when we wrote that song.
Thank God.
So.
Thank God. Because if it had anything to do with him, it'd go right to his head.
Yeah.
If I know him.
No, David is about the statue of David, and Eric wrote those lyrics. So
handsome man.
Nothing to do with David Giroux.
Good.
We can pretend that it is.
No, it's not. Because again,
but I mean,
every time
right
I look at David, I see the statue of David because he's just so handsome and perfect.
I mean, it does say hairless thighs, and I feel like just knowing David, I don't think he has hairless thighs. So, you know, I'm not gonna call him out or anything, but like
he actually shaves his thighs.
It's by choice.
And I'm saying it on this podcast right now, so it has to be true.
God, Patrick's gonna kill me, David's gonna kill me, or both of you. I don't know. This could be the last podcast. I don't know.
Listen, if David's gonna kill me, that's a good thing because then I get to see him.
Yeah.
So it'll be worth it.
What are your guys' thoughts on Central Jersey as a concept?
It exists.
It exists.
Okay.
I will
Are
fight you.
you guys from Central Jersey?
Yeah.
That's why you have that opinion. Okay. I was like, because I believe in Central Jersey. I'm a Central Jersey truther.
Do you travel to Jersey ever?
To go to New York.
Nice.
I go to Trenton to go to New York.
I know Central Jersey is a thing because when I was in high school and I played I played football in high school, and our
Sports.
division was the
Sports.
Central Jersey Group 5 Red Division or whatever. Also, if you took the state of New Jersey and folded it in half, our town is like on the crease.
That's the
Yeah,
center.
we're right
Central
smack in the
Jersey.
middle. But there is like a huge, not just like natural divide in terms of like the way that like the state looks, but there's like a definite culture divide between the three sections of New Jersey. Like North
yeah.
Jersey people are just very different than South Jersey people, and Central Jersey people are better than both.
I'm gonna give a hot take. I think that North Jersey is just New York, South Jersey is just Philly, Central Jersey is real Jersey.
I'll
said
take
That's
it,
the
that.
true
yeah, there
Jersey.
you go.
I'll take that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope I don't get hate for that from other people that don't believe in Central Jersey. They're gonna come into my house with like fucking pitchforks.
I always think about like Indiana, and there's probably like there's a north and south in Indiana, but there's no central. And then someone's like, yeah, there is. Or freaking like Idaho or Montana.
I just wanted you to stop it. Sometimes I think about Indiana. Like no like no through line. Just sometimes I think about Indiana.
That sounds like a Shark Club song title.
I was gonna suggest, how about the three of us, we form our own little side project called Sometimes I Think About Indiana.
I'd be into that. I'm totally into that.
First song is called David, and then in parentheses, not the statue.
Oh.
Or it could be David in quotations, not the statue, Juro. There you go.
See, like
we're gonna start calling him David, not the statue, Juro now.
And the thing with David, if you say his name 3 times in a row, he will appear. So that's why I'm a little on edge.
You gotta. No, you're doing it wrong. You gotta stand in the bathroom and turn off the lights and spin around 3 times.
We could have just. My phone just fell. We could have just talked about David the whole podcast. That would have been funny.
This is a David podcast now.
Yeah.
Wasn't he your guys' first on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He popped our cherry.
Oh, that's beautiful.
He's going to be on the next episode too.
Damn.
Oh, actually, yeah, he's going to be on another episode.
I'll crash it.
He's hogging it. You're welcome back anytime, by the way.
We'll do a part 2, and that's the card reading. It'll just be...
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm game.
It's happening.
Okay, cool. No, I'm for real game forever. Yes.
Yeah.
And if it gets even weirder than you said it would, no one's telling us we have to put it out anywhere.
True. You can just have that for yourselves.
I wonder if I'll cry.
Man.
I hope you do.
Thanks.
Like, not like in a malicious way. Like, I just think it would be...
I'm hoping in a malicious way.
Like, I hope you do, just because, it'll bring us closer as friends.
Which I would like that to be a thing.
I would like that in a malicious way. God, that's funny.
That's why we keep Eric around. He keeps everybody, like, leveled.
And on their toes, though.
Yes.
Do you guys watch BuzzFeed Unsolved? Have you guys seen? Okay, never mind. I was gonna
tell us about it.
I mean, it's just these two boys. I mean, they don't work for BuzzFeed anymore. They have their own channel, of course. Nobody works for BuzzFeed anymore because it's bad.
They grew beyond it.
Because what?
They grew beyond it.
But they basically just like tell stories of like unsolved cases, and like one of the guys is really like funny and peppy and crazy, and the other one's just like the straight man. And I feel like that's what I'm experiencing right now. Is like Russell's like asking me the questions, and like and then Eric will just butt in with like a zippy one-liner, and it's like it's great. I love it.
That's exactly it. Russell's the guy who knows things, and I help.
And I help. It's very good.
I just ask questions because my mind goes a mile a minute, and I just want to know everything.
I've said this before, but it's always hard to know like the best time to like jump in with something.
Yeah,
or, like,
and I feel
we'll be talking, and I'm like trying to think of something, and then like by the time like there's a chance to speak, I completely forgot what I was gonna say, and then like time's gone for it. it's hard finding a good rhythm and good flow.
And I
I
feel
feel
terrible. I feel terrible about that, Eric. You know,
No,
I do.
don't feel. I literally like most of the time it's just like again a quick quip or
You
something
guys have a
something
beautiful
dumb.
repertoire, I guess is what I would say.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
wonderful. What were the
Thanks.
beans? What were some of the beans you wanted me to spill? We were talking about spilling beans earlier about
Well,
my Wikipedia page.
I didn't know that you weren't in school, but like usually where there's a place about school that wasn't filled in on there. I have silly me. I just assumed, and when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I think it's freaking baller that you're not in school.
I just I hated school. I hated high school. It was horrible. And I was like, I just don't want to like do like another high school, but like I'm on my own and I have to manage my own schedule. That's not good.
We obviously don't have to get into it because it could have been a bunch of different things that you didn't like about it. Was it just the structure of high school? Was it the fact that you were kind of starring in some pretty cool movies and that could have affected things?
I definitely for a while in school, just like in general, I was bullied for being an actor.
That sucks.
Which is fine. I mean, they bully theater kids all the time. It's basically that, like, to a different level. It's like, what? You're doing something that you enjoy and you like it? Screw you. And I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. But I didn't like the structure of it. I had a hard time paying attention.
Sure.
Like, I had a hard time getting my work done. I was a gifted kid, so that explains a lot. I was like, wow, this sucks. Everybody told me I was smart when I was like 9, and now I don't want to do anything. Cool. There was some of the social stuff I wasn't into. I didn't like how everybody was really cliquey.
Sure.
But I kind of hopped between groups because I was like pretty social. Didn't like most of my teachers, but the teachers that I did like, I added on Facebook when I left school. Yeah, I don't know. I want to learn sort of on my own pace. And school made it hard for me to actually like learn stuff. It was just like regurgitating information, and I hate that. And I didn't want to go to college and have to like, you know, like the things I wanted to go to college for, also I didn't have the GPA to go to college for. I wanted to do something like linguistics. Cause like I think words are cool. And I'd like to talk about like languages and stuff. And they were like, yeah, so you can go to Penn. And I was like, I don't have the GPA for that because I didn't try hard in school. But yeah, I don't know. I also didn't really want to go to school for anything other than like I didn't want to go to school for music because I was like, I already do that.
Yeah.
And also I'd have to learn how to wrap cables. That shit is hard.
It's important though. It's definitely
It's
important.
hard. I was told it would
Make
be
David
like
do it.
Just
That's what I
let
do.
David do it.
But like if I'm gonna go to school for music, they're gonna be like, if you can't wrap a cable, you can't graduate. And I was like, well, shit, I guess I ain't graduated then. A lot of people told me to go to school for acting, and I was like, but I already do that.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Why spend more money?
Have you done like plays and stuff, or has it only been things for the screen?
I used to do community theater, which was fun. I like community theater, except there's a lot of like drama around it. It's just like theater in high school. It's like everybody's like mad at each other for no reason. Yeah, I did some readings for some plays. I've done some auditions for some plays. And I'd like to do theater. I would like to do like New York off-Broadway theater. I think it'd be fun. Not Broadway. I can't sing like that. But like you know, the gritty indie plays and stuff. Cuz those are fun.
What would you rather do, movies, television, or a stage thing?
Probably movies and television just cuz it's easier. Like plays are hard. Like really hard. And I think that they're fun, but I don't think I'd be able to like consistently be a theater actor. But like movies, it's like if you mess up, you can just like
Do it
be
again.
like, oh, cut, let's do it again. Yeah, that's why everybody from England is such a good actor because they like train in theater like exclusively first. And then once you do that, then you're allowed to move to film and television. That's why they're all really good.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to be like cast in a TV show? and then kind of have like consistent work, or do you like doing something new?
I like doing something new. I think that if I was going to do a TV show, it'd be like a limited series or something. Just because like if I did a TV, I was really close to getting a role in a TV show, and I would have had to like travel to LA for like 4 months out of the year. And again, I hate LA. So, but I was willing to do it because it was a really good role and it was good money, and it was, only 4 months. So,
Yeah.
the other 8 months I could hang out here. But yeah, I don't know. I think movies are more fun just because it's like I can jump in and then jump back out and relax for a bit.
And then okay, I had a question about this because when I was also doing some research, I was like, oh, Mo's probably also been interviewed before.
Yes.
And so I went on YouTube and to see some stuff.
I'm so sorry if you saw any interviews with me.
They were fun. You're great. There was one clip I saw. It was a 45-second clip, and it was you on one of the carpets. It was a carpet for the second Jumanji, okay?
Yeah. Was it blue? Was the carpet blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what the clip was just you staring at all of the paparazzi. No, it's not called paparazzi there because they're all...
Yeah, the media people. I don't know.
The media people. And for 45 seconds, it was you just standing there looking around and everybody yelling at you to look at them.
Yeah.
And then you saw somebody that you knew, and for 2 seconds you gave them a hug, and everybody was like, "Well done!" And then you ran back, and then you finished. And I was like, wow, that's
stress-inducing.
Yeah, well, because you see like those pictures of like everybody on the red carpet, and they look great, and they're living the dream. But that's just that's the moment in time that you get to see. I saw that whole thing. That was crazy. What's that all about? Do you know what I'm talking about, by the way?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think the person that I hug is Madison, maybe. She plays Bethany in Jumanji. I hate it. I hate when people yell at me in general. I get stressed out when you're in the grocery store and all of like the automated like machines are being like, your total is this, please scan the item, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of what it feels like to me. It's like sensory overload. If you see me on a red carpet, I'm probably dissociating the whole time. I hate that they yell at you.
Yeah.
Like I could do without that.
You should yell back next time.
I think I might.
Like, no, this is not how you talk to people.
Yeah, but it's also just like, I don't know, there's like a process, and it's like, I want to rock the boat because I don't like the process, but also if I rock the boat, everybody else's day gets ruined, and I don't really like ruining people's days.
That's a good point.
But yeah, I was really happy with like my suit and everything with that Jumanji, because the first premiere, I don't know, like my hair was doing something. I was trying to like do this like David Bowie thing, and I don't know. I liked this last one because I had a shirt with cats on it, so I felt safe with my shirt with cats on it. Yeah, I also the first premiere, the after party was absolute hell for me because I was like having like a panic attack, being like, there's so many people here. But the second one, I was just like, whatever. I got like a drink and I was like, I'm just gonna like get a little tipsy and like talk to famous people. That's my plan. I went up to Keegan-Michael Key because he was there, and I was like, hey dude, you're cool. I've been watching your videos, like Key and Peele, since I was a kid. He was like, oh, you were really good in the movie. And then we had a conversation.
That's
and my
great.
mom came over. She was like, do you want a photo? And I was like, no, I just want to talk to him. And he seemed surprised by that. And I was like, dude, you're just a dude.
That is a baller move.
Do I have proof that I talked to him? Absolutely not. Did I though? Yes.
Yeah, you don't need that. Why do you need to prove that to me? That's a memory for you. That's what I like about that. Famous
people are always taking pictures of people. I just want to say, hey, you did a thing that I liked.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I said it.
Oh. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. What are you going to do about it?
And I hope everybody's taking note. Eric and I haven't asked you for a picture.
Take notes.
We're just taking a video of it. of our conversation.
You could take screen
Taking
grabs.
a million pictures.
This is millions of pictures.
I did get a nice picture with Jack Black though. That was cool. He's a really nice guy. He is so
I believe
good.
it, and that
If
really
anybody-
makes me happy to hear.
If like anybody can meet one famous person, I think everybody should meet Jack Black because he's a great dude. A+ stand-up guy, and he's got a weird TikTok. His TikTok's really weird.
When you
He's
were when you were growing up and getting into acting as well as music at the same time, obviously, were there actors that you looked up to, like there were musicians?
Yeah. Actors that I looked up to. Anne Hathaway. I just think she's really good. Also, Heath Ledger, rest in peace. Who else? I really liked Jim Sturgis, but he's like not really doing anything right now. He is doing stuff, but he's not like in the public eye anymore. That's really all I can think of. I don't think I really looked up to actors.
Well, did
'Cause
you
I don't
maybe-
watch movies.
Oh, you don't?
I'm not like Rob, cinephile, loves movies, is always trying to get me to watch movies. Me, never seen a movie in my life. I don't even know what a movie is.
Oh, is it weird for you to watch yourself in a movie?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Again, usually dissociation is my tactic.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's not me. And then it's easy. But yeah, I don't like to watch my audition tapes because I'm just like, I know I have to, because I'm like, I have to judge
Learn
if this is
from
good
it.
if I can send it in, but like, it gives me the willies. It's like I don't like to listen to my own music because I'm like I'm proud of it. I'm like, we did that. I did that. It's easy to listen to Double Suede because I'm like not singing half the time. But like my own stuff, like I was saying when I was showing my stuff to David, I was like, I'm sorry that this exists. That's kind of how I feel about anything that I do. But anxiety, maybe that's what that is.
I'm sure it's all phenomenal. Everything you touch turns to gold. I'm sure of it.
Shit. Well,
If David says so.
David.
Yes.
I could be very rich if I could be able to do if I was able to do that. Midas.
I'm sorry to ask this, but I have to.
Go for it.
Were you a fan of the Naked Brothers band growing up, or was that like a little before your time?
So I watched it.
Yeah.
This makes me sound like such an asshole. I didn't like a lot of kids shows when I was a kid. I love kid shows now. Dude, I watched Adventure Time in quarantine. I watched like a bunch of cartoons that I didn't watch growing up because I was too cool. I don't know. But I remember catching it like on Nickelodeon and stuff and being like, this is fine.
I just like knowing that we know a lot of people in the same community. I know of a lot of people who watched the Naked Brothers band and who would just openly admit like, hey, that had something to do with me getting into music.
Yeah, and that's honestly like whatever got anybody into music, great.
Yeah. And then
I mean, like those two kids, they had a band and they were musicians and they're good. They're still, I mean, I think that Nat and Alex, make good music. I just didn't really watch the show.
it was
That's
probably
okay.
it probably ended up working out for you because he was in Jumanji, wasn't he?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Alex, yeah.
That's pretty.
I had to kiss him. Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like if it was, I was gonna say one of the guys from Green Day, but that'd be gross if you had to kiss one of
The
them.
kiss threw him off.
Yeah, because they're kind of old. They're
A little bit.
old. Yeah,
It worked
maybe if
out, is
I
what I'm
was,
saying.
I mean, I definitely think that young Billy Joe Armstrong was a nice looking fella.
When he was methed out.
Jesus.
You ever seen him when he was like
Unfortunately.
really young and they were playing and like his eyes were like bulging out of his skull?
Yeah, dude. I'm
That's
glad that
the
he
best
like
Green Day.
got clean
Best
because
Green
like
Day is Speed Green Day.
were they making good music? Absolutely. Was he totally just out of his brain? Yes. And I'm glad that he's clean and good now because I don't wish that on anybody.
No.
Me too.
But yeah, no. I don't know. I also like when it comes to like acting with people that I like know of or like have watched before. I'm just like they're just an actor. I
Yeah.
really try to like this is just another person.
Yeah.
Gets up in the morning and takes a shower and takes a shit. Like we're all on the same level. Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna ask if you had like a favorite acting performance in a film, but if you don't watch movies, you probably don't have an answer for that.
My favorite acting performance, like of myself or of other people.
Of other, mate, could you answer both?
I could.
Answer both, please.
Okay, so Adam Driver in Marriage Story. Marriage
Nice.
Story is probably one of my favorite movies. Rob and I saw it at TIFF, and we were like, "Holy shit! If this could be us," because like the two characters are really really similar to us, and so it kind of like freaked us out. But it's still like one of my favorite movies. I think that the whole movie is just performed like beautifully. And then for myself, favorite performance in a movie, I'm gonna have to say Mildred Pierce when I was 12. Because like my favorite movie to film was when I was 14, but I didn't think I was that good in it. But Mildred
Which movie
Pierce,
was that?
it's called Quitters. It's on like Apple TV. Maybe Apple TV, I don't know, maybe Amazon Prime. It went to South by Southwest and then like just never got released properly. And yeah. It's like a dark comedy about like rich kids in San Francisco having problems. And yeah, no, Mildred Pierce is probably my favorite performance of myself because I was 12 and killing it. Oh no, was I 12? I was 10. I was 10. I was killing it. I was like, dude, go you. I watched it. I was like, go you, dude. You were doing it.
Good for you.
I had a lot of like emotional scenes and I was like wearing like 1930s getup and killing it. I'm proud of that self.
Oh, I'm proud of it too.
Thank you. Just found this little Yoda guy right here.
Oh. Do you want to play a quick game of this or that before we
Yes.
close the
the door.
covers on this book?
Yeah.
Do you know how to play this or that?
Nope.
Basically,
I was ready to jump in without any directions.
You could.
I don't know.
It's pretty
Some people don't get it at first. It might take you a couple rounds to fully.
It's really complex. If you need to write this down, you can. But basically, I'm going to give you an option between this or that, and then you have to choose between this or that.
I don't know. That seems a little hard, but I'm ready to tackle it.
Do you have any this or that's, Eric, or no? Come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a stupid one because we pretty much already talked about it. I'll throw it out there anyway. New York or Los Angeles?
New York. Hey, they get the pizza.
Which borough would you choose?
Brooklyn. It's my favorite borough.
And so
I don't like Manhattan.
Oh, I hate Manhattan.
It's so bad.
When you talked about possibly like winding up there, why do you say that?
Just because like it feels like the most natural progression of things. Like I do eventually want to move to New York, and I think that Philly was like, my first experience with like city living, like on my own. And there's some really nice like places in Brooklyn that are just like a little bit more expensive than like where I'm living now in Mantua. So it kind of feels like and then maybe Canada. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's just keep moving north. We'll just see what happens. Yeah, Brooklyn definitely.
I got a this or that.
Hit us.
Veggie dogs or veggie burgers?
Veggie burgers.
You ever had a Boca burger?
Yes, they're good. We have the
So good.
we like to buy like the chicken patties that they have.
Yeah.
Really good.
Is it a Possible Burger the same thing?
Are you a ketchup? on your burger, or do you do mustard? Spicy brown mustard. This might be a hot take, but spicy brown on a
Mustard,
burger is really
but
good.
also I like sriracha on burgers because sriracha
Ooh.
is, I think, the ultimate condiment because it's ketchup-y but also spicy.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say it's like Eastern ketchup.
Yeah, it is. That's good. I'm glad it's like popular because it's good.
Okay, Eric, stop me if I've asked this one on the podcast before. Tom Cruise or cruise ship?
I don't really like either, which is also a hot take. I just don't care about Tom Cruise. You heard it here first. Anybody that's been in Scientology that long,
yeah, exactly,
there's a problem.
Isn't he like one of the main like members now? Like he's one of like the head.
Oh yeah.
I think he stopped. Did he stop, or is he still doing it?
I don't think so. No, I don't think you're allowed to. They don't let you off easy.
I guess Tom Cruise. I liked him in Rock of Ages. I don't know.
Out of all the movies he's been in,
that's his best performance. I watched a Mission Impossible movie and I was like, this is bad. I don't like this.
all his own stunts.
I tried to watch Top Gun and I was like, I don't like this. That's why I don't watch movies.
That's fair. Eric, what would you pick?
I don't know. They're both a little dirty and gross.
I've never been on a cruise. Have either of you been on a cruise?
I've been on a lot when I was younger, and they're really fun when you don't think about what they are.
I just don't know how I feel about boats.
I like boats, just smaller boats that aren't packed with, a million. It's just a giant floating petri dish. Don't think about them.
Oh, I just got a little shiver. Ugh.
Yeah. It's like how well can they really clean that thing? Like
That's a good point.
Like there's like 6 hours between like when a ship docks and lets people off. It's like 6 hours before like another like the next voyage like starts packing on.
That's not
so, like they wipe stuff down, but like it's not thorough or anything.
Especially now that it's COVID times.
Exactly.
Gross.
Yeah, it's like even worse now that it's COVID. But like even after COVID, like I'm never going on one of those again. Sorry, I didn't mean to get on this whole tangent about cruise.
Go off.
What's the point? These are conversations.
This is an anti-cruise ship podcast now.
Oh yeah.
Anti-cruise ship.
Soundtown, we're landlocked. So if you try to visit us, you can't get here by cruise. Daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime.
Why?
I hate the sun. I'm pale and
what's it done for me lately?
Yeah, seriously, I'm pale. First of all, that's number one. I got really bad light sensitivity. Sun makes me tired. My circadian rhythm's broken. Whatever. I don't care. Fuck the sun.
Are you one of those people that sneezes when they look at the sun?
Yes. When I go into a room and it's bright, like I will sneeze.
Is that a
thing? My God, that's so crazy. Yeah, like so someone was telling me about that and I was like, there's no way that's a thing. And then like I've been looking into it and like meeting more and more people. That's like something that I ask people now is like, oh, do you sneeze when you look at the sun? Just because it's so weird to me that there's some people who just, if they look at the sun, they just sneeze. Is this going on YouTube, Russ?
That's weird.
Russ, is this going on YouTube?
Yes.
Leave a comment down below if you sneeze when you look at the sun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. I am not excited to go to sleep at night, and I don't like waking up in the morning, but I think I'd rather like be outside during the daytime.
That's a fair assessment of that. I'm not gonna judge either of you for either of your picks on any of these, but I
was curious, like, what's your take on that one, Eric?
I don't really know. I go to bed early and I wake up early, but I don't know. Can I dislike both? I don't feel comfortable in either.
Yes, you can dislike both. Well, my this or that list is run dry.
Oh no! That was 3.
And if you couldn't tell, we saved the best of the best for you, Mo, on those this or that's.
I'm honored.
Did you have any more, Eric?
No, I know it's really bad, and it's like literally the thing we do every episode, but I always forget about it until like the last second. Like
Maybe
we've
we
done
should-
one every single episode, and I still just totally forget to think of any beforehand.
What do you think, Mo? From outside looking in, is it a segment worth doing?
think
I
it's a
like doing
segment worth
it.
doing.
It's fun, especially just since we've been doing it for so long. We got to keep doing it.
But you know, I get that vibe though, where it's like you're just kind of like you're in the conversation, you're having a great conversation, and then you're like, oh, we got to do the bit that we have to write out. That's too
why
much.
I don't really like. That's why I don't really like writing it out. I kind of just like throwing out whatever comes up.
That's fair.
Yeah, but the runs that I do write sometimes are funny.
That's true. That's very
I
true.
think the Tom
I'm
Cruise
not
cruise ship
trying to
one was
discredit your
Thanks.
wonderful writing.
Should I recycle an old one?
Yeah, sure. We're all about recycling here on the pod.
See, but then when I look back
I
at
don't
them,
say it
I'm
on
like,
the pod.
when
I
I
can
look
say on the
back at
pod
them,
because I'm on a pod.
yeah, when I look back at these, they're not as funny as I thought they were back then.
Go for it. Give me one.
Don't
Throw
sell
one
yourself
at
short,
me.
kid.
Okay, well, this one isn't funny. It's more of a conversation, but you would have a good take on it. I'm not going to explain it. Ready?
Okay.
Movie or film?
Okay.
That's a good one.
I was actually thinking about this earlier. So like a movie is like your classic like blockbuster. The plot has been repeated multiple times. It has the same 4 actors in it. It's kind of okay written. It's mainly explosions and like boobs. Film
Michael
is
Bay.
like film is like A24, Charlie Kaufman, like, you know, your typical like film, like the film kids, you know, like
Art house,
like that kind of stuff. Like that's a film. Like, and I don't think either one are bad. I mean, I think that there are a lot of bad films out there. I think there are a lot of good movies and vice versa. So,
but you do have to pick.
I would rather watch a film only because not usually in explosions and boobs and something has to be well written for me to want to watch it. So I guess because I don't watch a lot of films. But again, one of my favorite movies is 10 Things I Hate About You. So what category is that in? I don't know. I don't. Because it's based on Shakespeare, but it was written for teenagers. So
Just like She's the Man.
I don't like She's the Man. I think I just don't like Amanda Bynes.
Hot take.
I watched the Amanda Show a little bit, but I don't know. Amanda Bynes is just okay.
Yeah, that's I think I agree
And again,
with that. I like
Heath
She's the
Ledger-
Man, but I'm not too big on her.
Heath Ledger was in 10 Things I Hate About You. Gives
Yes.
a great performance. Great performance. He's in like a serious movie the whole time. It's a comedy for teens, and he's like, I love it. I think it's funny.
You ever seen, Eric, I apologize, you have to sit through this. Have you ever seen the 2002 blockbuster smash hit movie Big Fat Liar, starring Amanda Bynes, Frankie Muniz, and Paul Giamatti?
I have not.
That's
If you're gonna watch
personally
one
my...
movie, you should watch this one.
Do I have to watch that? Is that my
You don't have to.
homework?
You don't
But
have to.
if you're gonna watch a movie,
I feel like if I'm gonna
if there's any
be-
movie to recommend, it's this one.
I feel like if I'm gonna be on a part 2 Electric Boogaloo tarot card bonanza, that the first thing I'm gonna have to get out of the way is watch that.
Look, if you do it, you're not going to regret it.
Okay,
That's all I'm
That's-
You
saying.
might.
that's perfectly fine.
It's my favorite movie, film, whatever you want to call it, of all times.
Call it a movie.
Cinematic experience is more of what it seems like it is for you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's call it that. When are we gonna get this YEET EP? Is there a date that I didn't do my research on?
I think the date is January 15th.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
I think this will be released after that, unfortunately. But
That's fine.
we're here to promote. Let's promote that. Where's that going to be on? Like Bandcamp and Spotify's and stuff?
Spotify and probably Bandcamp. Probably most likely is going to be Spotify is going to be, Spotify and Bandcamp. Yeah. Go.
Okay, this
Did
is
you guys
the
finally work out that deal with Target?
We were working on a deal with Target. Were we?
Are we going to see CDs in Target anytime soon?
Maybe if Target stops donating to anti-LGBTQ people.
Oh,
Sure.
never mind. Okay, never mind. Cut that. Never mind.
Wait, can we
I was just being silly. I didn't realize that they were.
No. We're not doing. I don't know that. I mean, I was also joking with you, but yeah, Target apparently is not great.
Can we out some other major
Target.
corporations who are doing that you might know of?
Chick-fil-A, we already know that.
Sure.
Yeah, we've been new.
Jeff Bezos is a rotten monkey goblin man.
Okay.
I haven't bought
with a
anything on
bald head.
Amazon this pandemic.
I did,
Absolutely
unfortunately, but I avoided it for Christmas because I was like, I'm not gonna do it for Christmas.
Mhm.
I feel like most corporations are bad, so
I was
that's my
gonna
take.
say, yeah.
Probably.
Just to be safe and hit them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy local, buy from small businesses, support small businesses.
And if you're looking for a
that
jacket
good
this
stuff.
winter, look into Summit Ice.
Yes, isn't that Nathan Fielder's
Yeah.
Yep.
Nathan Fielder's clothing brand. Oh, so good.
God, Nathan for You is such a good show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of good TV stuff out there that we could talk about on our part 2 with you,
True.
Mel.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Happen anytime. It's been such a pleasure to catch up and
thank you for having me.
Thank
Goodness
you for joining us.
gracious.
I hope your cat has a lovely night. What is your cat's name?
Her name is Prismo. And she, as much as she is the love of my life, she's also a demon in a cat suit. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's exciting. Maybe it'll make an appearance on the second pod.
I can do that. I can make that happen.
Have you done a tarot card reading for Prismo?
She wouldn't sit still long enough. I do have cat tarot cards though that I could use when you do the reading. So
wow,
they have cats on them.
All right, well, tune in next week on Dragon Ball Z to see someone get freaking tarot card read, yo.
Wonderful send off.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Eric, for real, I think that was one of my all-time favorite Soundtown episodes. So we got to talk about music, which we love, but we also got to talk about Tinseltown there for a little bit.
Yeah, your favorite place, right?
I love Tinsel.
Russell is so LA.
That's why I'm so tan. For those who are only listening, I'm one of the palest people you'll ever meet.
Also, Russell is not very LA.
We cannot thank Mo enough for their time. It was such a pleasure to be able to speak with them in great detail about their music as well as their acting. I find that so fascinating, and it's also an added bonus that they're such a cool person, a cool, calm, collected person, and a genuine friend, really.
Yeah. Also, shout out to David Juro.
Yeah, as always, shout out to David, the obligatory shout out to David. We love him. We get it.
There's some good David talk in this episode, so hope you guys enjoyed that.
I'm genuinely considering letting Mo read do some tarot cards on me.
Yeah, that could be a nice little episode.
That'd be a great little episode. Leave a comment if you think I should get my tarot cards read, son.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below.
And make sure you check out the new YEET EP when that drops, which it might, by the time this releases, it should be dropped. I don't know. Go check it all out. All right, well then, that's all I got to say. We'll leave you a song at the end, like always, and make sure you come back real soon to Soundtown.
Bye.